What's going on, my dudes? This is Mr. Gardner, and this is Math Time with Mr. G. Today we're going to work on arithmetic sequences. And arithmetic means adding or subtracting of patterns. And sequences means a list of numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of numbers, and you're going to tell me how I added and subtracted those patterns. When I give you a list of numbers, we could keep adding this plus 2 for forever. Or I could do an equation and you could tell me how to find the 100th term. So this is my first term, second, third, fourth. If I wanted to find 100, would you want to add plus 2 over and over again or do an equation that gets us straight to it? Our equation is A sub n is equal to A1 plus n minus 1 times D. Well, what do all these letters mean? A sub n means any term. So I want to know the 5th term, that's what that means. I want to know the 100th term, that's what that means. Any term. A sub 1 means my first term, or the first letter, or first number that I see in my sequence. N minus 1 means the next term. So I start here, n minus 1 means going to the next term. My last one is D. D means the difference, the common difference. That means how much am I adding or subtracting to each one. So my common difference in this example is plus 2. Okay, so there's two different forms that we can write arithmetic sequences. We can do what's called recursive form, which is absolutely useless, or we can do the explicit form, which is what we just did on the last slide, and it's actually really useful. Recursive is we have to say, what is the first term? What is the common difference? Then we have to do our previous term. That's what n minus 1, whatever we did last, plus or minus our common difference. So, for example, my first term was 10. My common difference is subtracting 3. So, to find any term, it would be what did I do last minus 3. So 10 minus 3 gets me to 7. And then from 7, I have to do minus 3, and then 4 minus 3, and so on and so forth. But that's not really useful because that's just me subtracting 3 on my own, and I have to do all of this equation to prove it. Explicit is useful because I can just plug in my term to find out the final answer. So let's say I wanted to find the 4th term. That's this guy right here. That means I want to say, what is the 4th term? And I'm just going to plug in my first term, which term I'm looking for, 4, and my common difference of minus 3. So after plugging in my 4th term and common difference and first difference, I found out that the 4th term is 1, which is right. So with recursive, I would have had to do 10 minus 3 and get 7, minus 3 and get 4, minus 3 and get 1. Here I just plug in my equation and it gets me the answer really, really quick. So when we're talking about the 100th term, this is way faster. So let's use our explicit form and find the 100th term of this sequence. So the 100th term of this sequence is negative 487. So let's look one last time where we may have already seen this sequence type. So I'm just going to reorganize this, and then I'm just going to substitute the letters. So I have a number times a number plus a number. The only thing that's super special is this n minus 1 that we don't talk about in the sequence because we're multiplying it by the difference. That's the only difference. All right, if you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments section. Other than that, be kind to each other, ask lots of questions, and think deeply.